Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Aries.
and you are going in Raw.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Be sure to subscribe because YouTube is known for unsubbing people without their knowledge, Larson.
Very true.
We're also available wherever fine podcasts are, including the iOS podcast app, where if you hit the subscribe or download button, it helps boost us up in the ratings and gets more exposure for the show. So we'd appreciate if you did that. Where else can we be found, Larson?
At Patreon.
Yes, that's correct. Patreon.com/Steve and Larson. You can financially contribute to the show, and in return, you get stuff like access to our live stream, a bonus episode, postcards, and a t-shirt, maybe.
Yeah, speaking of t-shirts, we're also at Pro Wrestling Tees at prowrestlingtees.com/goinginraw.
You can get this Gigi Allen
Not
shirt.
true, but we do have 6 designs.
7 designs.
Oh, 7, yeah, sorry.
You know what's funny is that our friendo Davey Scott pointed out after we uploaded the In Your Hoss shirt.
We got so used to saying 5 designs, we just kept on saying
we
it.
never said 6 designs. And then I put up the debut exclusive. You like how I did that? Businessman. The WGPW shirt.
Yeah.
I debuted its logo in t-shirt form at prowrestlingtees.com/goinginraw. You can check it out there, and if you like it, you can buy it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. But watch the show. Buy it anyways.
We both benefit regardless of whose brand comes out on top.
Pretty much. It's just bragging rights. Otherwise, it's bragging rights. But
Yeah.
I don't really keep track of our t-shirt sales
Nor do I.
in terms of like who's coming out ahead there. So I have no idea. But man, I'm killing you in the ratings this week.
I'm all setting up for some major developments down the line.
All right, I like it. Me too. Anyways, this is the show where we talk about 205 Live and NXT.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the furrowed brow there?
No, I don't know if maybe I'm suffering from a little wrestling burnout.
Ooh, uh-oh.
But I was
exclusive.
I don't know. It didn't seem like neither 205 Live or NXT were, really like top product.
Can
this
I?
week.
I'll say this. I was actually. Here's my thing. I think for me, I was really looking forward to NXT, and it was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
You know what kind of bums me out about NXT?
What?
We lost that theme song. I didn't think that would affect me as much as it has.
I know.
I get geeked out whenever I hear that theme song.
I know.
Now it's just kind of underwhelming.
I know.
It's going to take a little while getting used to. I'd even prefer they brought back the old school one. Remember the one? And it's weird when you watch that now because you have like Xavier Woods and like who Damian Sandow, like Rusev looks weird. It's just a weird alternate universe WWE. And then I wasn't looking forward to 205 Live, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
Yes.
It kicked off with Akira Tozawa versus Tony Nese. I know it's funny, man. I bitch about like not wanting people to come to 205 Live because I feel like and there's a part of me that feels like it's a lame duck show. But at the same time, when I saw like what happened, or when I saw like the lineup for it, I was like, man, I gotta sit through more Austin Aries versus TJ Perkins. But I thought it was a fantastic match.
It was good, and I'm actually enjoying TJ Perkins' character work in the ring.
He didn't do a promo this week.
No.
So I actually bought in. But first we kicked it off with Akira Tozawa versus Tony Nese. Kendrick, once again, and it was a fine match.
Yeah, it was fine.
Tony Nese takes advantage of every opportunity he has.
Yes.
And that's kind of a thing of me now, is like paying attention to who's taking advantage of their opportunities and who aren't. Or who isn't.
Yes. But this was an okay match. A point, Kendrick comes out, kind of coaches Tony Nese a little bit. And at one point, the referee is distracted. Kendrick gets on the apron to try to kick Akira Tozawa, who's on the ropes.
Little Nate sees it.
Yeah, sees it. And that causes a distraction, which leads to Tozawa picking up the win with the roll-up.
Yeah, so Brian Kendrick now is having his lessons turned around on him.
Yes.
There was a great little moment when they were recapping what happened last week with the ring bell and Akira Tozawa, and Corey Graves says, "Just to be sure, everybody, Akira Tozawa is not a licensed bell timekeeper."
Yes,
that was funny.
Yes,
Corey Graves cracks me up.
So Nice, upset about the loss, attacks Brian Kendrick after the match, and then Tozawa gets on the mic and says, "Lesson number 3. You need to have eyes in the back of your head."
Yeah, it was good. I love Akira Tozawa.
Yeah, he's great.
His ring gear is so great, so wonderfully designed. I like him.
I like Tozawa a lot.
Then we had sort of, I guess you would consider it sort of like the blow off to the angle.
Yeah.
There might still be a match, I would imagine, just to get rid of all this stuff. This promo, this segment with Alicia Fox, Noam Dar, and Rich Swann was one of two sort of spotlights on why doing this in front of that crowd is a terrible idea.
Yeah, and I think it was this segment. Well, because I watched 205 Live first, I always do, and just seeing that segment fall flat in front of the live audience, I think that's kind of was like.
The execution wasn't all that great anyways. It lacked a dramatic build. So essentially, Rich Swann comes out and he says, "Alicia Fox, I got you all those presents, so something might come out here or whatever." Noam Dar comes out and he starts running down Rich Swann for sending presents to his girl and trying to break up his relationship. So Alicia Fox comes down there because at that point, I think Rich Swann says something like, "It's time to decide who you want," which is like, I don't know, stupid in the first place. So Alicia Fox comes out. She basically dumps Noam Dar. She says, "I kind of liked you at first, but you're immature."
Well, she said, "I used you."
Yeah, I used you. Yeah. She says, "You're immature and you're crap." But wait a second. Did she say what she used him for?
Not really.
Okay, that was my thing because, yeah, you're right. She started off saying something like, "I was kind of attracted to you at first, but I used you."
Yeah.
She said, "Because then you showed me." So then, I don't know. It was kind of muddy. And then Rich Swann. So she dumps Noam Dar. He leaves. And I actually thought Alicia Fox was a decent anchor for this.
Yeah.
Because she can handle the crowd wutting people. Like,
especially after everything
She's
happened.
been doing this long enough that she can get a handle on the crowd, not get intimidated.
Yeah.
Which is no easy task, I would think.
It's not.
So then Rich Swann reveals his ulterior motive was not, in fact, to bed down Alicia Fox.
It was to avenge the broken heart of Cedric Alexander.
Yeah. This should have been done a different way.
I don't even feel like it was necessary in the first place.
Yeah. It was like, it's weird. It was overwritten.
It was.
You don't really get a lot of overwriting in wrestling.
But here's the thing. Cedric's off TV and will be for a while due to injury.
I had totally forgotten about Cedric.
By the time he comes back in probably 3 or 4 more months, this will be ancient history, this whole storyline.
Dude, him with Alicia Fox and the Noam Dar thing is ancient history already.
I know.
Why are we bringing it up now?
I don't know.
That said, I love Rich Swann. Rich Swann has a face that's like better than anything in the world. And Noam Dar is great too. I just feel like it's weird, overwritten. Alicia Fox is cartoonish.
Yeah, and she was trying to kind of provoke the audience at the end, kept on saying, if you keep wutting me, I'm going to snap. And of course, the audience wants to see that.
Yeah.
So they kept on
She was doing with the crowd what she could.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the segment just kind of fell flat because the audience was not into it. It was overwritten. Rich Swann's motivation seemed largely unnecessary.
Yeah, it was all very silly,
and it was long.
Yeah,
and I think this was a segment. Watching this, I was like,
yeah. I think Lacey.
I'm just not really into watching wrestling right now.
Lacey came in. She broke this up for me because she was like, "I want to watch Big Love," and I was like, "All right." I was like, "That's fine. I don't really care." So yeah, this didn't really do a lot for me. Then we got Drew Gulak being interviewed by InterviewBot.
No, that happened after the match.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Mustafa Ali versus Daivari. I actually like this. I think Daivari coming in. Daivari, evidently, they took my Apollo Crews gimmick and they just gave it to Daivari because he comes in with like a really stylish car, a Corvette. And he doesn't tip the valet guy. And what did Corey Graves said during this match? He said that's what he said. He said that's what family. He said what else could family be for but to exploit them?
And then Tom Phillips says, "I'm like, that's a terrible message to send."
He said no. He said that's literally the worst thing to ever say about family.
Yeah.
They're such a great combo.
I
They're
know.
a really good combo. Are we
really
going to talk on Dirt Sheet? Are we going to talk about the Morrow thing at all? Because there was more about the whole culture in the WWE, and I didn't notice on the Dirt Sheet notes.
No, I didn't put it in the notes.
I have no desire to talk about it. We can talk about it off camera if you want.
Okay.
But their chemistry and what was said in the Wrestling Observer newsletter about sort of the high school-ish culture of the WWE is kind of fascinating to me. And so we'll talk about it over lunch. It's nothing revolutionary. You don't need to hear me say it.
No, you can read the newsletter if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, so we have Mustafa Ali versus Daivari.
Decent match.
Yeah, no, it was a good match. Drew Gulak, they're sort of officially kicking off this Drew Gulak, Mustafa Ali
feud. Yeah.
Gulak came out with a bullhorn and a sign that said "No Fly Zone."
He was chanting, "I ain't lying." No flying or something like
Yeah,
that?
we don't want flying or something like that.
Yeah. Which distracted Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
And then Daivari hits a hammerlock clothesline.
Hammerlock Rainmaker.
Yeah, I know. Picks
And
up the
Mustafa
win.
Ali sold it like it should have been
he
sold.
did a full flip.
Oh, my goodness. It was fantastic. Then Gulak was interviewed backstage because Interview Bot wanted to know what was that protest all about?
Yeah.
And he said, that high-flying stuff doesn't belong here. He says, I think Mustafa Ali is a fine competitor, but his style is no good. No bueno.
And he says he was speaking for the 205 Live universe.
Yeah.
And I like that Corey Graves gives Drew Gulak a bunch of grief for wanting to limit what the competitors could do.
When Corey Graves, and it doesn't happen often, but we saw it with the Drifter and how great it was there, when he doesn't align with the heel.
When he heels on heels.
It's great.
It's good.
It's so much fun. Oh, man. So then we had the main event was Austin Aries versus TJ Perkins. Dude, the fact that they did not have TJ Perkins cut a promo, combined with his fantastic ring work, and I think he's figuring out this heel persona, and it works really well.
It does.
It works really well. He's doing the dabbing while he's got a guy in a submission move because he understands that's obnoxious.
I kind of wonder at times, because I find it interesting because at times he's doing the arrogant thing, dabbing while trying to pin. But then at other times he has this kind of, I said before we started, it reminds me of Ted Theodore Logan. From Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. His kind of goofy smile he has when he's enjoying
I can see that
being a heel.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's exactly what they want him to do, but I find it more interesting than what they probably want him to do.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
He seems to so badly want to be accepted by Neville. Do you get that feeling as well?
Yeah.
That I just find it interesting.
Yeah.
It's different.
No, I like it. It was. I thought it was a fantastic match. I was when I saw Austin Aries versus TJ Perkins. My instant idea was my instant gut was like, I don't really want to see that.
There was two.
Man, this is a good match.
It was a good match. There's two moments that for Perkins especially really stood out. So Perkins had him in a head scissors. Austin reverses by doing a handstand.
Yeah.
And TJP normally I would think would just kind of not react to it, but instead he did this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Different. Good.
No, it was good. No,
After
I
the
liked
match
it.
when he sat.
That I love.
Yeah, sat next to Austin.
Well, hold on a second.
Neville
Just
Sorry,
wait.
Yeah.
So Aries ended up going over with a discus 5-arm, which pissed off Neville, who comes down to sort of express his displeasure at the entire thing. But he doesn't lay into like TJ Perkins or anything. He just starts laying into. He attacks Austin Aries.
Perkins does too.
Neville gets him off so he can get his licks in. They're all kicking him in the corner. Neville then this was fantastically staged blocked because Neville starts sort of mad dogging the crowd while not even paying attention to the fact that TJ Perkins is delivering his detonation kick to Austin Aries behind him. So he's letting what he knows is a beatdown go down behind him while he's just basically got his chest puffed out saying, I'm the big dog in this particular yard, in the smaller yard. And TJ Perkins is laying into to Austin Aries, who goes down to the detonation kick. Neville then puts Austin Aries into the Rings of Saturn, or whatever he calls it.
Yeah, Rings of Saturn. That's what Corey Graves is calling it.
That's what he's still calling it. Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, and then TJ Perkins, like you said, sits down cross-legged and just sort of sits there and stares at him.
But has that.
Yeah.
That kind of goofy smile on his face.
I liked it. I thought it was
great.
I thought it was really, really effective, and it wasn't marred by an awkward promo from T.J. Perkins. And here's the thing: I really think that promos are an effective way to get across character. They're not always necessary, but I do like them. I hope that he continues to expand this. Whatever he's doing in the ring that is effective, I want them to take to the promo realm, which is going to be. It has to be less is more.
Yeah, I think at this stage, as you said, he's finding the character, and I think what Perkins is doing is really good. It's starting to be really effective. At this stage, you don't even have him talk at all.
Yeah, it could be.
Have Neville do the talking.
Yeah, works for Zack Sabre Jr. I think you brought this point up last week. Have him do that thing.
Yeah. Detached.
Yeah. And you don't need to change at this point. You don't need to change like the music or anything like that.
No.
I mean,
if you look at it, kind of, and I don't want to get too meta with things. Neville is playing Perkins.
Yeah,
it fits into the gaming thing kind of obliquely, but it does.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's good, man. But no, I thought it was a very effective sort of. I actually think this probably should have been the go home for Payback.
Yeah, I don't know what else they're gonna do to top it.
Yeah, I know. Here's the problem: if Austin Aries ends up coming out on top next week at the end, then Neville's gonna win at Payback.
But it makes sense for him to win now that he has Perkins.
Yeah, totally.
Helping him out.
Yeah, because I think they can extend this a lot further.
I mean, right now this is. If you combine 205 Live and Raw into one kind of massive show, this is one of the better feuds going on.
Oh, absolutely. No, I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
Might be the best one.
I know. I'm running down Raw right now, and I'm like, what's better? Like, since the shakeup happened, that really threw a lot into turmoil.
But Perkins is doing really good work right now, and I'm very happy.
This week I bought in. I need more time to continue.
I think I bought in last week when I first saw Perkins do that.
Yeah, I just need last week the promo killed me.
Oh, I know.
Can't deal with promos.
I wasn't high on the promo, but when first time I saw Perkins do his smile, I'm all in. That's all it took because there's so much character. There's so much character behind that smile, and that's why I like it because it I don't know, it just communicates so much. It seems like there's depth to it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's intentional, but there is.
Well,
I don't even know if that's what they want, but it's working so well for me right now.
Well, hopefully they run with it.
I hope so.
Let's talk about NXT.
Yeah.
Oh man, that friggin' that music. I mean, maybe
I got so used to the previous theme, I liked it.
Yeah, I know. Give it 3 months. Give this latest one 3 months.
I feel like it's gonna take 6.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, man. It's just not. It's not. Do you regret now saying that the other one was too literal? Because you were running it down when you said it was too literal.
Well, I can say it was too literal and then still say I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think saying it's too literal, like you didn't say it excitedly when we first heard it. You didn't say.
I remember saying it, but I remember the context in which I said it.
I think it was when you didn't like it. Not that you didn't like it. It was like it didn't work that well for you, but it turned you around.
Yeah, because I got used to it, and it hyped me up for NXT.
This latest one just seems. I mean, it seems like it's actually a decent song. It just seems kind of generic.
Yeah, but
doesn't get me geeked.
No, and
I need something corny to get me geeked.
I think it's the combination.
I need some Nickelback.
Oh dear, new song and new graphics. Either of them in a vacuum aren't bad.
Yeah.
Together, brand new.
Yeah, everything
with just so abruptly. It's too much to get used to.
Here's kind of what it is for me. I hate to harp on talking 10 minutes.
Well, no, it's packaging. It's part of the show. It's part of the presentation.
Yeah,
it's important.
Totally.
How much of a turnoff was the crane on SmackDown Live when they first started using it?
Oh, big time.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. Here's what it is for me. Honestly, I'll start to get on board. I would probably be more on board now with it if they didn't have that intro to the intro. Oh, yeah, that bugs the living crap out of me.
The kind of distorted drone. Yeah.
Because you're busting your nut with that. You're showing us your roster, and then you show us your roster. I hate that because here's the thing: it doesn't. I think I said this last week. It doesn't build. It mills. It mills about. There's no build there.
You know what I think it is? I think it's more so the visual aspect of it than the audio aspect of it. Because the first time last week when they debuted the new theme, it was so jarring of a difference that I didn't really notice. I wasn't paying that close attention. Last night I really paid attention to the audio aspect of it.
Yeah.
And the drone that begins it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Just by itself.
Okay. All right.
But I understand your point saying, okay, you start going through your roster visually,
Right.
during this drone that's supposed to be a build.
Yeah.
If they had bridged the drone slightly, made it a purely graphical thing, then when the song kicked in, then start going to shots of the roster, maybe it would work better.
Maybe, yeah. That could be.
So I think it's about, I don't know, like a 4 or 5 second drone.
You think it's only 4 or 5 seconds?
Not very long.
I swear it's 10 seconds.
It's not very long.
Can we settle this right now? Let's settle this right now. Because I swear it is so long.
No, it's not that long.
It's at least 10 seconds.
I don't think it is.
Well, even if it's not, and I'm totally willing to admit that I'm wrong because we're about to find out.
It just feels longer because there's
there's
no beat to it.
Dude, it feels so long. Hold on, I'm going to get out my... Oh, wait, I don't need to stop because there's the timer thing here. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, no, go all the way to the beginning. That was last week's, but it's still there.
You're going to get all this first.
All right, we get the fireworks first. Doon, doon, doon.
Then now forever.
Wow. This is a live reaction. All right, here we go. Starting from 22. From 22. From 22, we have to get to 32. Look at this. See, look. We're 31. 32. It's 10 seconds.
Didn't feel that long to me.
That's forever. That's forever in a day.
Like I said, it didn't feel that long to me.
That's fine. I was right. It's 10 seconds.
Okay.
That's forever, man. Oh, my goodness. That's ridiculous. That's way too long. I'm sitting there. The entire intro should be like 20 seconds at most.
I agree.
All right, anyways. Bobby Roode comes down. Everybody sings Glorious, but then he cuts a decent heel promo.
Yeah, it was decent. It was a little too long.
Yeah, it was. He runs down Shinsuke Nakamura. He runs down the crowd for liking Shinsuke Nakamura. Then he runs down
the locker room for
showing up and saying
goodbye to Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. And then he's interrupted by Hideo Itami.
Yes.
Who comes down.
They have a stare down the ring. Hideo slaps him.
He looks great, man. I like the sort of the mohawk look as opposed to the floppy hair look. Not huge on the floppy hair look. I like the mohawk look.
Yeah.
He looks cool.
Yeah, he does.
He also doesn't wear socks.
No.
Does that bug you?
No, I don't like wearing socks either.
Really?
Yeah, in the summer, I hate wearing socks.
Ooh. What kind of shoes? With what kind of shoes?
Any shoe?
Any shoe?
Yeah.
You don't get too sweaty?
No, that's so long as I don't wear them too long.
Do your shoes smell afterwards?
Not really.
Oh, they do.
Maybe at the end of the summer, maybe, but not
yeah.
at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. Mine smelled yesterday after I took them off.
But I don't like wearing flip-flops. They make my feet hurt.
Really?
Yeah.
You need better flip-flops, man.
I just don't like them.
Hideo Itami comes down.
I feel like my feet get dirty if I wear flip-flops.
Oh, yeah. My feet get horribly dirty.
Yeah, that bothers me. I don't like that.
Yeah. You know what's great, though, is getting a mani-pedi after that, because then you see somebody cleaning your feet. No, that's not. I don't get off on that. It's like when your feet are nasty and then they're clean afterwards. It's like shedding your skin. It's great.
You've mentioned that before. I just prefer not to wear flip-flops.
Watching the process of like scrubbing off my hard skin is great. I don't feel good for the person doing it, but they're getting paid. So, anyways,
Itami comes out, slaps Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode starts saying things are different now since when you were last here.
He starts disrobing, only to leave.
He takes his jacket off, starts unbuttoning his sleeves, rolls them up.
Starts to get. I mean, that means you're about to get to work.
And then he lunges towards Hideo.
Yeah.
Hideo transitions directly into a GTS.
Yeah.
Knocks out Bobby Roode.
You know what kind of cracks
Bobby really
me up?
sold it really well.
Okay, he sold it really well. Here's my problem. This is my problem when Hideo does the GTS, and it was my problem when Punk did the GTS for a lot of guys. It's my problem kind of when people get to do the F5 as well. When you get up there, you need to sell that all of a sudden you're up there. So many guys get up there. So many guys get up there, and they just sort of wait for something to happen. And so they have this like look of, I kind of want to say serenity on their face, but really it's just, okay,
I think it's concentration.
It's concentration. I got to make sure I take this move right. Some guys, when they're up in the GTS, they'll be like, they'll freak out a little bit. That's what you should do, because you're about to get a knee in your face.
Yeah.
Same thing with the F5. You're about to be taken to hell by this man beast.
F5 doesn't bother me because it's so fast.
Well, sometimes he gets up there and he preens. You have to be like, ugh. I want people to go, I, like that, like cartoonishly. No good? You'd rather have the look of serenity, like, oh, this is comfortable being up here on this man's shoulders.
I think it might be comfortable. I'd rather have
on Brock's shoulders, it probably is.
I'd rather have an honest portrayal of one's emotions at that point.
Oh, this is comfy up here. One day we'll have to get in that position. I'll have to put you up there, and you can find out if it's comfy.
Okay. I mean, your shoulders aren't that broad, though. That's the thing. I need, like, wide Brock shoulders.
Oh, like
to
pillows.
get the full comfiness, I think.
Big pillow shoulders. All
yeah.
right. Well, maybe I can emulate that. So I'll just go do some a couple days in the
Well,
gym.
you need to
my
actually
shoulders.
like, broaden out your frame. That's what I'm saying. You need like 40% more Steve.
Oh man,
width-wise.
And then was a segment that completely killed NXT for me. Like this week's episode of NXT stopped dead when Jack Gallagher showed up.
Yeah.
This was, dude, it was like two mumblers. And I blame in part the interviewer for not putting the microphone. She was holding it like down here.
I know.
What the fuck? Put it up here. Get the microphone in the face where they can hear you.
Regardless,
you already have two mumblers.
There wasn't much energy to this segment.
Tyler Bate looked like he was fresh off a nap again.
Is that his new thing?
Maybe that's his thing.
Sleepy Tyler Bate.
Yeah, a teep of teeps. He's like, oh man, I just want to sleep right now. I just want to knock her out.
Yeah, because during the tournament he had his hair combed back.
Oh yeah, he was very dapper,
freshly shaven.
Do you think that maybe they don't want overlap between him and Jack Gallagher because they kind of do this? They kind of have the same thing going. They got the gentleman cut and they both got the fancy dancy mustache.
I don't think that's.
I would
why.
think not too. I think they're just confused by what he should be, heel or face, and so he's okay. We'll be sleepy because
do neither or both.
He said, "Wait, do neither."
No, do both.
Right, I got to be both.
But you can't be heel or face.
So you're saying neither?
Both.
Who are you in this situation?
Someone backstage.
Your
WWE.
producer.
Yeah,
Your
producer.
Okay, gotcha.
But like during the tournament, Tyler Bate was so charismatic.
Dude,
so
I know.
personable.
He's dead man walking these days.
Now he just seems so sleepy.
And Jack Gallagher, he really needs to project a bit more.
He usually does.
Every once in a while, notice he'll like come up and he'll be like, it's as if he's just barely remembering his lines.
It literally feels like they went up to both these guys 5 minutes before they shot and said, "This is what we're going to talk about. Here are your lines." And so they were both more concentrated on trying to remember what they were supposed to say as opposed to actually delivering a performance.
What's a sleep a drug that helps you sleep? Not just like
Ambien.
Ambien. It's like they said, "Here's your lines. Take an Ambien. Go."
Mm-hmm.
Hello, old mate. It's good to see you. I'm looking forward to taking your time.
Yeah, this wasn't the best interview in NXT
Tyler Bate said, "Whoa." Give him this thing. Give him the old two fingers.
But they come back, and then Bobby Roode's just peeling himself off the mat.
Do you know, apparently this
great.
isn't, maybe some of our British friendos out there can give me their take on this. But so my new, possibly future brother-in-law, the dude, the Will, my sister's dating him right now. He's a great guy. Anyways, I'm talking to him. He's from Scotland. Mm-hmm. But he calls himself British. It's weird. I got to talk to him about all that stuff. But anyways, I was asking him, I was like, so this versus this, what's the deal? And he says, well, this is like more relaxed. Like this is like if you're with your buddies, you do this and it's like, hey, screw you kind of thing. But he says this is real hardcore. So apparently they still have this over there.
Oh.
But this is like, hey, Larson, screw you. Not like,
yeah,
we have a problem now.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that
I
either.
always thought that this meant this.
Yeah, I thought they were
right?
synonymous.
I know, me too. For those listening to the audio version, I'm putting up the two fingers versus the middle finger.
Yes.
If you're watching, we've probably been demonetized now.
But getting back to Bobby Roode, he really sold the GTS.
Oh, wait, we've already moved on.
No, because they cut to this interview and they cut back to the ring.
Oh, did they? Okay.
And just then Bobby Roode's getting up and he's kind of stumbling around the ring.
Oh, that's great.
Regaining consciousness.
I love Bobby Roode.
He's
God,
good.
I love him so much.
He's very good.
I love him. He comes out, he's got that smile, that snarky smile of his, that arrogant prick smile. I love it.
It's so good.
I love Bobby Roode.
Not
huge on that title, man.
I like it. I like the revamped women's version. I think that looks good.
I like that better than the old one.
Yeah. They just look too similar across the board.
They look too similar, and I want something more. That UK title, I love it. Yeah. I love the UK. Yeah. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I want something more like that. I don't need a coat of arms because that's a very specific UK thing.
Yeah. Something a little more intricate.
Yeah, I want like detail, like the big gold belt. Look at how much I don't even know what's going on in that thing.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Beautiful.
Even the older WWE.
Oh yeah, for sure. The
World
wing,
titles.
the wing eagle
ones.
thing. Yeah, it was great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So next we had Heavy Machinery.
Oh wait, but the Tyler Bate and Jack Gallagher.
Oh, they have a match next week for the
Yeah,
UK title.
Yeah, exactly.
Heavy Machinery were working out Performance Center.
Yeah.
Goofing off and documenting it on their mobile device.
Can I just say I am firmly behind the iPhone segments backstage,
I know.
be it Peyton Royce and Billy Kay,
Or Heavy Machinery, yeah.
which have completely endeared me to them.
Yes.
Or this Heavy Machinery stuff is great. And
Yeah.
I read up on some of the spoilers for like the next round of tapings, and Heavy Machinery cut some promos where they talk about eating, and it sounds amazing.
Oh, wow.
It sounds great.
Wow.
So anyways, yeah, they're working out, and then you see fucking massive stud Drew McIntyre. Oh my God, he looks amazing.
Yeah, he does. And then Andrade Cien Almas, who's dressed to the nines on his phone, goes up to Drew.
Yeah.
Talks some trash.
Yeah.
And leaves the Performance Center. And then the Heavy Machinery guys talk, and they say, "Well, why is he dressed up to go out?" And the other one says, "I know, it's only 1:15."
I can do that all day long. I can watch all those. I can watch that all day long.
I know.
That's fantastic. That is great.
It was pretty funny. And so that leads to a match between Andrade Cien Almas and Danny Burch, who we saw during the UK tournament. And then,
I love Danny Burch because he looks like he's in his 60s.
And yeah,
He looks like a very fit
as
guy.
Almas comes out, I guess his new thing now is he likes to go out and party, because he said after TakeOver that he was out partying in downtown Orlando till 3:45 in the morning, and they were wondering how well he could compete.
Yeah.
Since he likes to stay out late.
Yeah.
Why is this his new thing? So now if he loses, he can just say, "Well, I was out too late last night."
Exactly. Exactly. How old is Cien Almas? Isn't he too old to be going out that late? Cien Almas.
I don't know. I think he's in his late 20s.
Oh, he's only 27. Oh, yeah. He can party.
But regardless, why is that his gimmick now?
Tranquilo, man. Tranquilo. Why wouldn't it be his gimmick?
I don't know.
Hungover? You don't like the hungover gimmick?
No, I don't. Not at all.
Tranquilo. I don't have anything for you. I wish I did. Because now he's got what's her name? Thea Trinidad? Is that her name? Mm-hmm. She's out with him now in the new round of tapings.
Oh, you're just dropping spoilers all over the place.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's not a big, she looks like $1 million, huh?
That's Austin Aries' girlfriend.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah.
Well done, both of you. Man, nobody got the short end of the stick there. They're both studs. Good for them. But now so I wonder how she's going to, I didn't really see much in terms of like
The context of...
yeah, because that might be like stuff they film like backstage or whatever.
Yeah.
Like how they met or whatever. But now I'm interested about this party gimmick, the hungover gimmick. I mean, that's really what you want. You want him to like show off what really hungover looks like.
Like vomiting in the middle of a match? Like that? That's what you want to see?
Yes. Yeah, man.
Well,
or he shows up and he's like, "No bueno. Man, I drove drunk last night. You shouldn't be doing that."
Oh, wow. Well, anyways, at least on this week's episode of NXT, Almost was not too hungover.
Cassius Ohno's like, "Dude, haven't you heard of Uber? Sí, pero, I'm drunk."
Almost wins with a hammerlock DDT.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, I like that. It's funny. I usually don't like slow finishers, and that's a slow, because you have to like get the guy.
There is a setup to it. Yeah.
I like his though because he's like brutal.
Yeah.
He like really drives that head home. It's good. I like it.
The potential for Almas to be a top tier heel is there.
You know what? One thing I also love about Almas is like the more sort of research we've done on him and understanding that he was the part of the original, one of the founders of Los Ingobernables. And knowing that, like when he saunters out and knowing that Naito kind of took that attitude from him, makes me like him even more.
Oh, I know.
I love all that shit. It's great. And I know I'm late to the game on that, but I fucking love it.
I know. I want to check out a lot more of his stuff as La Sombra.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I know. I want to see some of that stuff.
But knowing, his reputation as, a top of the card heel.
Oh, yeah.
Through his previous work, I want to see that.
No, dude, I love him, man.
He's great.
Yeah, I want to see that. I don't want to see him hungover. I want to see I want to see him.
You want to see him as top of the card heel, but also hungover.
He comes out with some Pepto. Yeah. My stomach. No bueno. Liv Morgan and Aaliyah then took on Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. This is the blow off from their backstage. Billy Kay got dumped into a bath feud that happened. And they got the sneaky victory.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Peyton Royce ate the pin.
Yeah. You know what's funny, though, man? I'll say this about those two. A couple months ago, we were like, what is their ceiling? And we kind of figured
Peyton Royce, I think, has tons of potential.
I could see them both, like, going to Maine soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they don't need to go through they don't need to go through the title scene or anything like that.
No.
I could see them heading up soon. Like, why not? Like, I think they're better than some of the people that, like, on SmackDown right now. Mm-hmm. I kind of think they're like, I'm not huge into Carmella these days. I kind of figure, like, I think they're better than Carmella.
Yeah.
I think they're, or at least at that level. You know what I mean?
I think they're better than Carmella.
Yeah. I think they could do a lot for something.
Imagine if they were the one. You know,
I'm not saying they're like going to be the women's champion anytime soon.
No.
But they could bolster. They could add depth.
I think Peyton Royce has that ceiling.
Oh yeah, I can see.
I definitely think
now there's two belts, definitely.
Yeah. Imagine if it were Peyton Royce and Billy Kay doing the thing that Natalya and Carmella and Tamina are doing now.
Yeah, I know. I'd kind of buy it more. I think.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Aaliyah picked up the one with the roll up, so that's good. I like Aaliyah. She's good.
Yeah.
I like Liv Morgan too. She's coming along. She's progressing.
Yeah.
Quite a bit actually. Then we had our main event, which was the steel cage match between Eric Young and Ty Dillinger.
Yes.
I like
Ty's goodbye NXT
Ty's
match.
Good Ty. That wasn't funny. Don't laugh. So yeah, no, I like this. I mean, it was good. This is kind of like a takeover level match. I'll be honest with you.
And it had a couple of unexpected high spots.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Neither Ty or Eric Young are exactly known as high flyers, yet they both did spots off the top of the cage.
Eric Young, when he
that elbow.
Ooh,
I know.
That was awesome. That was fantastic.
So to start the match, Ty comes out first. Eric Young comes out and stands at the top of the ramp, flanked by Sandy, and he tells him, "Go backstage."
True.
Eventually, he gets in the cage. They lock the door. For a vast majority of the match, it's one-on-one. Yeah. Eric Young bleeds.
Yeah, man. He looks great when he juices, too.
Yeah. And as I said, there's that top of the cage elbow from Eric Young. Mm-hmm. And then Sandy comes out.
Yeah.
And they lock Ty in the cage.
Now, let me ask you something real quick.
As he tries to escape. What?
Steel cage matches.
Yes.
I thought it was always just you get out of the cage, you win.
That I think, historically, traditionally, that was the way to win.
Yeah.
But it seems within the last, 15 years or so, you can also pin somebody.
Okay. All right. Continue.
So there's a brawl. Cassius Ohno, Roderick Strong, Ruby Riott come down.
Yeah.
To even the odds.
They're nerds. Like, all together, like, as one unit, they just seem like nerds. It bugs me. I won't see anything go over.
There's a bunch of brawling going on inside the cage, outside the cage. At one point, I believe it's Damo and Eric Young are in the cage. Ty climbs the cage. Alexander Wolf's on the outside, so rather than climbing down and having to contend with him, Ty does a cross body.
Somebody made a gif out of that. It was great. Like, they get that great camera shot from behind Ty as, like, he goes to open the door and, like, Damo slides into view. And Alexander Wolf slides in behind him and goes,
I know, that's good.
Oh, that was really good.
That was great. So rather than have to contend with Alexander Wolf on the outside, Ty does a crossbody off the top of the cage onto Eric Young and Damo. And then
that was really cool.
That was cool. After that, he's fired up, but he's still he doesn't have full strength.
Yeah.
And so he looks over his shoulder and sees Alexander Wolf climbing up the cage to get in. And he looks over and sees the door open, so he makes his way to the door, escapes, gets out, closes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wins.
Yeah, and celebrates with Roderick Strong especially seemed to be very happy for Ty. He was like hugging him, and then him
he
and
said,
Cassius.
"You did it, Ty."
He did say that. You did it, Ty. I really want Roderick Strong to be heel.
Me too.
Really want him to be heel.
Me too.
Because otherwise I don't think he's got a lot going for him. Him and Cassius Ohno hoisted Ty up on their shoulders for a victorious goodbye.
Crowd chanted, "Thank you, Ty."
Thank you, Ty.
As Ty says goodbye to NXT.
Yes, he does. So good for him. Good NXT career.
Yes.
On to SmackDown, where he will be misused.
I hope they do something with him, because otherwise, in about 3 months, we'll both be saying they should have kept him there to win that NXT title.
Yeah, I know. I could totally see that happening too. All right.
Do you think Hideo has a chance at winning the belt at a TakeOver in May?
Man, I don't know. I don't think so. I think that Bobby Roode is going to be...
He's going to hold it for a while.
I think he's a foundation guy. He's going to hold it for a while. I kind of think that they just want to get Hideo. I'm actually surprised that they brought him back to do some more stuff in NXT. I figured he'd go straight to 205 Live.
Well, I think the only reason they might not have done it is because the top of the card there is already so packed.
That could be.
Probably once this Neville Aries feud ends, he'll be brought up.
Yeah, that could be.
I would guess. If that's the plan for him.
It'll be really interesting to see how committed they are to 205 Live, because that crowd is such a bummer. And the talent, let's say they bring in Hideo Itami. Let's say they bring in Aleister Black. Please don't do that. He's a main event level guy. He's a Universal Champion guy. But let's say they bring in some like hot names at 205 Live. They would have to like tweak the show, right?
I think so.
They would have to.
Something bothers me.
Go ahead.
Like, if you're going to have a cruiserweight division, have a cruiserweight division.
Oh, yeah.
Don't pick and choose who's in the division.
Yeah, I know.
Like Finn Balor, he's a cruiserweight based on their definition of a cruiserweight.
Sure, yeah.
Yet he's on the main roster. And, you know, for example, you bring up Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Be consistent. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I know.
If you're going to have a cruiserweight division and everybody that's 205 and under is considered a cruiserweight, then have them in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah. That doesn't really bug me because I think I mean, you're right. It's arbitrary. I get it. That doesn't necessarily bother me as much as doing them such a disservice with the crowd. Like that,
I know. I just wanted to bring that up because I agree with you about Aleister Black.
Yeah.
He has a ton of potential and he can make a ton of money on the main roster.
Yeah, you know what would have been better, I think?
And I think Austin Aries, based on the reception, and Neville for that matter, based on the live reception 205 Live gets, based on the ratings, they deserve better.
Let me ask you this.
Do you think so?
Oh, of course.
Do you think Austin Aries and Neville should both be on the main roster? They are huge stars.
100%. Let me ask you this. What is a way, because cruiserweight has sort of the tag of like, you just think smaller guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How would they be able to rebrand it? Like, you're given 205 Live and they say, you know what? Forget about the tag cruiserweight, because you have a good point with the 205 weight thing.
It seems arbitrary.
It seems arbitrary. How could you rebrand it to make it like a common, like sort of, I don't want to say a middle step between NXT and main roster, but kind of a ground that hovers there. Like, how do you make it like, I don't know, come off like an indie promotion? How do you make it cool? How do you make it acceptable for Aleister Black to be there?
See, I think for me, rather than having such a stringent rule as far as cruiserweights, cruiserweights have their own show, you know, whether it's 205 Live, whatever you want to call it, that features just the cruiserweights. But on Raw, those same competitors could wrestle anybody. So you could have Austin Aries versus Seth Rollins, a match I really want to see.
Yeah, sure.
They put on a good match. You want to see more Austin Aries? Watch 205 Live.
I kind of do. Listen to this, though. I wonder if they'd go the route of, I mean, this would be my suggestion. Instead of like calling them cruiserweights, like I like the New Japan way of just calling them juniors. You know, because like Kenny, like you can graduate from junior to.
And that's what I would like to see. You know, is rather than to say, okay, you're on 205 Live, you're a cruiserweight, this is where you are. I would like to see them given the opportunity to wrestle people that are not cruiserweights. Yeah, like, you know, WCW. Yeah. By and large, people in the cruiserweight division wrestled, you know, other cruiserweights, but they also had programs with people that weren't cruiserweights. Yeah, and I think rather than making the division seem so self-contained, I think that's one of the reasons the way things are structured does a disservice to the talents. Yeah, because it just seems like, okay, no matter how much you may get over, like say Austin Aries gets a really good program and gets massively over with that live audience, that is a feat. Yeah, sure. But then to say, okay, well, you're just still stuck here at 205 Live. Yeah, that's a bummer. Here's where I think it could like somehow work is if you made it regional, not regional. So you've got the UK thing, whatever they're going to do with that. You had the UK tournament, and I was like, wow, that was really cool because it showcases all these great talent from the UK. Yeah. And if they get their own UK-specific show, okay, that's a regional thing. So, but then you can have like Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, Tyler Bate break out onto the main roster after getting some exposure there. Yes, absolutely. So it's like a feeder system, but it's not. It's its own regional thing. It's self-contained, but also for talent that gets over enough in that particular territory, they can be on Raw or SmackDown. Yeah.
Now
I agree with that.
How do you sort of apply that same idea to 205 Live, which doesn't have a regional connection for everybody, but it's not evidently not a feeder system.
No,
it's just his own like little island of sadness,
like
because
a self-contained thing. And when Cedric Alexander had that amazing performance against Kota Ibushi in the Cruiserweight Classic, when we saw that, we were like, this guy is going to be a huge star. He has future world champion written all over him.
Yeah, sure.
And to know that it just seems like him and everybody else in that division is going to be just on that show with occasional match on Raw with, it seems no avenues.
Which has its own ring ropes.
Which seems to have no avenues to go on to other things. I think it's a bummer.
Yeah.
I think that's one reason why people might not be invested in the show.
Yeah. Because you're not really going there for like future stars of tomorrow. You're going there for like to watch wrestling. I mean, it's I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think my problem with it is, let's say they transition 205 Live to. Could you imagine if they had 205 Live in a really small PWG-esque venue?
Oh, yeah.
And had a hot, like Full Sail is kind of bigger, okay?
Yeah.
PWG is like what, 400 people?
Yeah.
What if you did that? Because some of these matches that I'm seeing on 205 Live, I think to myself, man, if this is playing in front of 400 people in that sweaty little building.
If it played in front of an audience of any size that was into the show.
Yeah, it would be huge.
Yeah.
But what if you try to replicate, because with NXT, they're trying to replicate Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what would happen if they tried to make 205 Live, they replicated a PWG
that'd
environment,
be
which is just constant? Because even the thing about Ring of Honor, like when you watch their TV, like they do a lot of tapings in one course. So like you might have a dead crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
With 205
that
Live.
was with NXT anyways, too.
Yeah, that's true. With 205 Live, you can have like a small venue or tour small venues. Not really worried too much more about stories because, I mean, let's face it, these are really, really great wrestlers. You can have stories. You can have stories that play out from,
show to show,
self-contained.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It needs something. And I
does.
think that it's supposed to be, like, it does feature some of the best wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Get a fiery crowd. It could be a small crowd.
No, I agree 100%.
To just be going crazy for it.
Once a month, just have a TV taping at some... I doubt they can get the American Legion Hall.
Right.
But maybe I don't know if they get like the ECW Arena or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
A show there and tape it.
Yeah, Hammerstein, something like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or where I don't remember what it's called. Where Raw used to tape in the early days. I remember what it's called. But I mean,
I forget. Yeah, I know what you're talking about though.
There's a presentation aspect of it that needs work, and there's, like back in the WCW days. One reason I always thought that cruiserweight division was so popular, it was innovative, but you're a fan of Chris Jericho. He's cruiserweight champion. He gets into a feud with somebody. He's TV champion.
Yeah, he's
not just stuck in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was all integrated in the show.
I know, and I feel like that's what it needs. That's a huge part of it. I feel like it needs to be less self-contained.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And more woven into the fabric of the WWE's larger television.
Main roster should be the big stage, and everything else should be like sort of feeder systems. But also its own thing.
But I think main roster, main stage should all, as you said, all be woven together.
Yeah.
It really bugs me they change the ropes on Raw for cruiserweight matches.
Oh, I know, I hate that.
Especially when you sit there and live and watch them do it.
I know.
And Neville comes out, just kind of standing in the ring, waiting for them to get the
that
ring
was
transferred
hilarious.
over.
I know, he just mills about.
It's annoying. I just want to see one seamless product. That's what I'd like to see.
I'm telling you, man. If you're able to capture the PWG thing,
that'd make
it on the network,
the show hot. I mean, that's one of the reasons I think
NXT
NXT is so popular is because they have good crowds that are into the show.
Yeah, that crowd is like a family too. Like they're always I know.
And
and PWG, like that was sort of the vibe when we went there. It's like you have like veterans, and they're telling you about what it's like to be like a new person, because it's like obviously we were sort of recognized there a bunch. And so you had a lot of people who were like, "Hey, this is your first time there," and then they'll tell you about about their experiences.
And so the show was great, but man, the show 2 years ago, wow,
exactly.
Yeah, they need to build up that kind of vibe for 205 Live. I mean, even when this had the Cruiserweight Classic at
exactly.
Full Sail,
yeah,
it worked great because the crowd was super into it.
Yeah,
the commentary. I mean, Corey Graves and Tom Phillips does really good work. But it's just a different. It's more of the Raw SmackDown approach to calling the show versus what Morrow and Daniel Bryan did.
Yeah. Even if they did, dude. Even if they did, like, I know WWE is not really into this. They like to have their guys, but it's like even if you took the PWG route of like you would bring in new people on a regular basis, that might just show up once. Like you get these freelancers in there, to like dazzle the crowd.
Yeah, have Kota come in because he wrestled. Kota Ibushi wrestled in the Dusty Classic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
have him come in for a couple shows.
Yeah,
have see if you can get Zack Sabre Jr. coming. Probably not. It'd
almost be like a pilot system for wrestlers, And it's like if the crowd really responds to one guy that maybe they hadn't realized, it's like, okay, let's bring him back in, and then maybe we can sign him to a contract.
Yeah. Or just have him on a per appearance fees and have him come in on a semi-regular basis 3-4 times a year.
Yeah.
Build some excitement.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of, generally speaking, I just think the matches are good. They're exciting.
The problem with that obviously be if somebody really makes an impact, then they're going to go to like TNA or they're going to get signed.
I know.
So that'd be kind of difficult to do.
There doesn't feel like to be a ton of excitement about the 205 Live brand.
Yeah.
We're enjoying the matches. We enjoy a lot of the talents, most of the talents.
The crowd adds so much to it, though. Like the crowd is such a big part of like making those matches hot.
I know. I just want to see the talents on that show be given every opportunity to succeed to the fullest because by and large the talents are all really good. They're all really good wrestlers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they just be given great opportunities to reach their potential and succeed.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Let's answer some questions.
Yes.
Adam Mayhem, does it bother you when people are in a rivalry? And when the heel turns face, all of a sudden everyone is friendly. He cites Finn and Seth with Finn's recent
the shoulder
return.
Injury?
Yeah.
And all that?
He says, well, after the end of their match on the Raw after Mania, there was no indication that they were really addressing the fact that Seth, injured Finn during that match. Well, when Seth, Seth was a heel at that time too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, though, the basis of their feud wasn't so much a personal thing. It was just trying to get the Universal title, right?
That's true. So
I never felt like it was a personal beef.
But his point is kind of valid.
No, I understand.
When somebody when somebody turns babyface, it's like somebody who they had a beef with before just acknowledges, oh, he's good now, so I should accept him as being good. I should forgive his transgressions.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, does that bug you? I think I've just been watching for so long that's one of those things that I take for granted, I guess.
Yes.
But that's a good point. I can get why it'd bug you.
Yeah.
It's wrestling logic, though.
I know.
It's like when somebody's babyface, oh, you're good now, I can forgive everything.
Yes.
I think the worst is when like Triple H, because he did some really messed up things, like using sledgehammers on people, and then when he was like a good guy, it's just everything's cool.
I know.
Yeah, wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Adam Mayhem's out there ruining the business for us.
Randy Hayes, Money in the Bank. Do you think we're getting 2 briefcases or one? Predict the 1 winner or the 2 winners. Usually 1 winner per show with the previous brand splits. I believe there is going to be 1 winner this year. Money in the Bank, I believe, is a SmackDown exclusive show.
Yes,
so if that's the case, it'll just be amongst SmackDown competitors.
Right.
I would say early favorite, probably Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Or Sami Zayn.
So my prediction at Internet Darlings was it's going to be won by somebody who hasn't won it, or who wasn't even on the roster at the time because it was pre-shakeup.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand by that and say that it's going to be, it'd have to be Sami Zayn at that point. Who else came over on the shakeup?
Well, Shinsuke came over
Shinsuke's
after Mania.
I don't think he's even going to be in the match.
Probably not.
He's too big. I'm going to say Sami Zayn. It's always a heel. Make it a face. Last year, what was it last year? Last year it was Dean. It was Dean.
He's a face. Yeah, and he cashed in that night.
Before that, was Seth before that or somebody between them?
Sheamus.
Oh, he was a heel.
Yeah.
Seth was a heel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually it's heels.
Yeah, usually it's heels. Because they do the taking advantage. Dean is a lunatic, so he can take advantage.
Exactly. And I think he cashed in on the heel, too.
He cashed in on a heel, so it's okay.
It's fine. Yeah, you can do that.
Here's a question from Hamza Halal. He said, at the Internet Darlings, I saw your the video about controversial opinions. Brian Zane, our good friend at Wrestling with Regret, says he doesn't think Kevin Owens is a good heel because he gets cheered more than he's booed. He says, do you think a heel needs to get booed to be a good heel? Technically, I think yes. I kind of think technically yes.
But also, the audience is much more in tune with what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think people, people talk about the death of kayfabe. And I think matters like this are a side effect of that.
Yeah.
Where people will be heels, and they try to get booed, but people enjoy their work so much that they'll cheer them. I mean, Kevin Owens may not be the best example of this because he's funny.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the deal is people appreciate good work regardless if they're heels or faces.
Yes.
And because they appreciate good work and are entertained by the performances, they will cheer them, regardless if they're heels or faces. Mm-hmm. That's my position.
I think there's a spectrum. Do you not agree?
Yeah, I
there's
agree.
a spectrum.
There's various kinds of heels.
And so in the very middle of the spectrum, there's tweener.
Yes.
Okay. Kevin Owens is kind of like on the heel side of tweener.
Well, I would say he was on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of toning down his more comedic element since moving over to SmackDown a bit.
Dude, that giant face, the face of America, that giant. You can't tell me
that
he didn't crack up when he saw that.
I didn't say he eliminated his comedic
Okay,
elements.
all right.
In his promos especially, he's toning that stuff down, especially ever since he turned on Jericho.
Yeah. So, but I think that if you're looking at people who are on the 100% side of heel, I do think that a guy like Jinder Mahal, I marked out big time for that promo, and so many other people. I was actually really surprised at how many people were really geeked out over Jinder Mahal. There was like this weird, like on Twitter, there was like this instant gut reaction of Jinder Mahal. But then in the comments and even on Twitter, I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. A couple people were saying, after I listen to you guys, I understand, I'm keeping an open mind for this. I'm kind of geeked for it.
Even before that, a lot of people were just excited about the opportunity.
And the unpredictability and the unpredictable nature of it.
Yeah.
So I think that the promo he cut, and it's interesting that you mentioned the crowd these days, because the fact that so many people are geeked out over his like pure heel promo, that kind of means they're going to be cheering for him. I know I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting that you have this sort of, the Owens type heel who will, and Jericho when he was a heel on Raw with Owens, who kind of clown around understanding that they're being entertaining.
Yeah.
Then if you remember when he turned on Jericho,
no entertainment.
That no entertainment was all heel. And up until a shakeup, he was all firmly heel.
Yes.
Now he's back on SmackDown. He's doing the face of America. I think he kind of understands that that's going to be an entertaining thing. He's got the big face up there. Now he's sort of going back a little bit.
But as I said, he's toning down the comedic elements of his promo delivery.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
But here, I'll say this.
Go ahead.
Even at WrestleMania, in his match against Jericho, when he was full heel, Owens that is, he still got a pop.
Yeah.
Because people still appreciate his work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when Owens debuted on the main roster in his feud against Cena, he was full heel, 100% heel.
Yeah.
And I popped because he was good. He was
I know.
really, really good. He was really good in the ring, and he's really good on the mic.
Yeah.
He does really good character work.
Regardless, he's really good.
Yes, he's just good. He's really good at what he does.
Wow.
And I think fans these days, more so than maybe ever, maybe because the level of work in ring is probably the best it's ever been, people just appreciate really good work.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're not afraid to cheer for people that they enjoy watching.
Yeah, I think, but when you're talking about I know, but don't you think that's like a minority, like Jinder Mahal? You think the general crowd is going to cheer him based on how good of heel promos? No, they're not.
Probably not.
No, of course not. So I don't know. I think that I don't know. Like you said, it's very layered. It's on a spectrum.
Yes.
So, but I think that when you use the phrase heel, I think a heel's job is to get booed by the crowd. I think that's their job.
Here's another way to look at it potentially, and maybe this isn't apropos either. Instead of looking at the heel whose job is to get booed, he has two jobs. One, to get heat, which is reaction. Second is to help get the face over.
Yes.
I think those are more so are the jobs of the heel as opposed to just strictly get booed. And sometimes you could argue that if a heel is popular enough with the crowd, that working with the face that's trying to get over is a detriment because the crowd will cheer the heel because their work is so good. Yeah. And if it's not a good pairing, that's entirely possible.
Yeah. I think in the case of Jinder Mahal, though, I think that that promo he cut, that's like pure heel. That's like on the heel side of things. I think Charlotte did the same thing when she was healing up. I think they might turn her face soon, though.
Yeah. But like The Miz is an interesting case because what he was doing was pure heel.
Yeah. But people
were enjoying it because he was so good at being pure heel. It didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the when like our friend on Twitter says, God, I keep on referencing him. I need to get their name. But when they say, is Miz's new gimmick heel who makes good points? which is why he's starting to get cheered, because the whole Cena thing, number one, people enjoy booing Cena.
Yes, I know.
But people also, I honestly think people kind of saw Miz's point, and they like when the popular guys are taken down a notch, and he did that very effectively with those very entertaining.
And I think that's the thing is those Total Bellas skits were entertaining.
They were actually entertaining, yeah.
Roman Reigns hot tag. Hey, friendos, first-time patron. What TNA stars do you want to see showing up on NXT? Personally, he's a huge fan of Mike Bennett and Eli Drake. Rumor has it that Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis might be heading to either NXT or SmackDown pretty soon.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, as far as other TNA talents, I think I'd like to see Bobby Lashley come back.
Really?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's real good.
I could see him on Raw, because the main event scene is kind of... I could see him, maybe like a monster heel on Raw. I could see that. Other TNA talents that I like to see. I wouldn't mind seeing Abyss do the WWE for once, but I think he's pretty well ingrained in TNA. Jeff Jarrett.
No.
Yeah. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Get some more. Oh, here we go. That's a good one. Jake Riley. I'm sorry. The two-time Philadelphia Flyers champion, Jake Riley. When Bobby Roode gets the call up to Maine, who does he feud with first?
Depends what show he's on.
Let's say he gets drafted to SmackDown.
Randy Orton. Because we've seen Rude, AJ, and TNA. They probably don't want to do that. We've seen Rude, Shinsuke, just in NXT. They probably don't want to do that.
Sami Zayn.
Or Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn.
Chris Kimmel.
I think Sami Zayn and Rude would be good. That would kind of make sense for me.
Yeah, I just said Orton because it's a dream match.
Oh, yeah. Who would want to see that?
Chris Kimmel, do you think after DIY finally gets their one-on-one rematch against Authors of Pain, they will finally get called up to the main roster? No, I think they're waiting on another face tag team to kind of assert themselves in NXT before that happens.
Yeah, I think it'll kind of depend on Heavy Machinery, to be honest with you. See how those guys get over. They keep up those iPhone backstage segments, then
they're going to get over immensely.
Immensely, exactly. Let's see here.
Above titles, Alex C. What former WWE guys do you think could return to NXT in a similar capacity to Drew with an improved stock to when they left? Bobby Lashley. Cody Rhodes.
Do you think that's going to happen?
No.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon, but in 3 or 4 years.
It'll be really interesting to see where he's going to be at in 3 to 4 years, to see if that's the case. And I think there's a good chance it's going to be that could be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be true.
I mean,
Jack Swagger.
No.
I don't think so.
If in the next 3 or 4 years, Cody goes out there and wins titles and puts on really good matches, improves his brand, he can return to WWE and says, "Okay, look what I did on the worldwide stage.
Oh, here's a good.
Give me a good contract with a decent position in the company, and I'll come back."
Yeah. Here's a good question from Eric Base Hit King Blaha. He says, "Hey, friendos, would you rather be a top indie star that only few people know?" And when I say few, I mean, like a Jeff Cobb.
Okay.
Or a low-level WWE wrestler like Kurt Hawkins.
I think I'd rather be the indie guy.
Yeah, me too.
Especially if I was relatively young.
Yeah.
Because then, there's still opportunity to build your brand.
How long do you think it's going to be before we see Jeff Cobb in NXT?
I don't know, because I think he's already in his early 30s. I think he kind of got started in pro wrestling a little late. Because he was an Olympic wrestler.
Yeah. Are you saying you don't think he's going to be there?
I'm saying I don't know. Because he is
really
already
surprised. He's 34. Wow, that's actually a good point.
That's, I think, the one thing that'd be potentially holding him back. Because he's awesome in the ring.
Yeah, he's fantastic in the ring, man. I could see him signing in 2018, man.
It's entirely possible.
I could see that happening.
Entirely possible.
You think he's already passed his window?
I don't think it's a given.
How old was Owens when he came in?
Early 30s.
But he had been wrestling. I get your point.
Yeah. Because Cobb debuted in 2008, 2009, like that? When did he start?
2009, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so he's been wrestling 7 years.
Yeah.
8 years almost.
Wow.
Or 8 years.
Rather be a Matt Riddle than Kurt Hawkins? I'd like to be Matt Riddle. He seems like a really fun guy. Probably has a lot of fun.
He seems like he has a lot of fun.
Maybe they can pair him up with Cien Almas. They could be the hungover guy. Yeah. But Matt Riddle is like, he's like young, so like he doesn't get hungover. But Cien Almas, he's like getting up there. Like once you're 27, you experience hangovers. It's not like it is when it's 33. It's
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna say
33. You got 2-day hangover.
Once you cross 30, then it starts.
It's like a 2-day hangover.
Yes.
Now we're almost 40. I'm on 3-day hangovers, man.
I just make sure I drink plenty of water, so hangovers really don't happen that often.
I don't really get drunk that often.
I
I dread hangovers so much that I just don't get drunk that often.
just know when to stop. I don't really get plastered. I just get to a point where I'm feeling pretty good.
I mean,
nice
I suppose
and
if
relaxed,
I want to, I can just start downing
and then I
shots.
stop.
But I just know, like, when I look at a shot these days, I just think this is 3 days and I'm going to be useless.
Yeah, because like now, if I drink hard alcohol by itself, I'll get a glass of whiskey, toss a couple ice cubes in it, and just sip it over a half hour, an hour.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I don't take shots. Don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
No, I agree with you, man. I just look at him. I'm like, man, I got to pick up my kid tomorrow morning, and she's a freaking handful.
Super kick, bat kick, aqua kick, and wonder woe kick.
I have no idea what you just said. Oh,
That's somebody's name.
it's a question.
Larson, your good friend Steve has become a wrestler. And he's
job.
been signed by the WWE.
Good job, me.
They've also signed you.
Who'd
to-
rather be, Kurt Hawkins or Steve
Not
here?
the question. They've also signed you to the creative team and given you total control over Steve's character. But then Swerve City, you
Sucks.
decide to screw Steve over.
Oh, you're going to bully me, aren't you?
What character, gimmick, theme music, etc. do you saddle him with to ensure his time on the roster is miserable? Pretty much Kurt Hawkins' gimmick right now.
Oh, no. I would get that over, though. Face the facts.
Not if you're jobbing out in 10 seconds to everybody.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. I mean, do you have control over... You don't...
I have control over everything.
Even my... Well, yeah, but come on. Over my going over?
I write your promos for you.
Oh, no. Write me a promo really quick. What do you want me to say?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Steve here, and I'm a new wrestler here in WWE. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy. Boo! Are you off camera booing me?
No,
Is that
I'm
what's
the crowd.
happening?
I'm alternating between me and the crowd.
Oh, people would eat me up, man. No, they'd love me. They'd
No,
be
they
like,
wouldn't.
I'm so happy to be here.
Boo!
I would deliver it like tongue in cheek. I'd be like, I'm so happy to be here.
Boo! They'd still boo
Instant
you.
relatability.
No.
Yeah, man.
I'm here to achieve great success in the world wrestling entertainment, and I will stop at nothing to
That
be
comes off too ironic.
You're next.
Oh, they'd be into it big time. They'd be into it big
I don't
time.
think
You
they
got to
would.
do better than that, man. They would love that. They would eat that up. They merch sales through the roof.
No,
this is the thing.
I'd have like
It would be
whoever
so
designed.
frustrating for
I'd
you.
have whoever designed the club shirt design all your gear.
Oh no! Then I'm done. Then I'm done. No, so get Seth Rollins, WWE design guy, not his cool. What's that? The Brave and the what?
Brave and Black.
Yeah, not that guy. That guy is money.
Yeah, his Wrestling Academy gear is great.
I talked to Baron Corbin about Kraft, whatever they're called.
Oh yeah,
Anyways, I think it's it for questions. I don't think we're going to top that one.
probably not.
Hey, everybody. I'm here in the WWE, and I'm looking for great success in World Wrestling Entertainment.
Boo!
No, they wouldn't. They'd be like, yeah, he's wearing a Gigi Allen shirt.
No, they'd think, oh, this is like an '80s baby face.
That'd be
You'd
great.
get wutted like after your second sentence.
Oh, and I'd invite that. No, I get. What would I do?
No,
Would I-
because my direction
Oh,
to
yeah,
you
yeah.
would be ignore it all. Just go out there and deliver your promo
Well,
as
no,
if you're
you'd have
saying
to
it in front
say-
of an
you'd
empty
ha-
arena.
You'd have to write them so that the stops are at the appropriate place.
Yes.
I'm here to do good.
What?
Kick butt
What?
and make lots of money
What?
and make all of you people happy.
What?
Oh, they'd buy in. They'd be like, "Oh,
Oh,
this guy
gosh.
is the most ironic wrestler ever.
Boo!
This guy's so meta."
No, you get so booed.
Oh man, I'd start talking about diversity, but I'm like Lily White.
But here's the thing: as soon as I get the sense that you would somehow start to get over,
Yeah.
I would just repackage you instantly.
With a new name and everything.
No, same name, so they
Same
still know it's
name?
you,
Yeah.
obviously. But just come out. But you'd be like the Shining Stars to be wearing your old ring gear.
Yeah.
But you'd be a completely different character.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be good.
He's like, I came out last week and said I want to be champion. No, I'm just happy to be here.
I tell you what, man. If you want to bury me, just do this. Just act like I just say, look, go out there, act like you're about to take a nap, because that's burying the shit out of Jack Gallagher and Tyler Bate for me.
I'll go out there and have you dab.
It's a 38-year-old who's dabbing. Watch out, TJ Perkins. In about 6 years, you're going to be me. All right, anyways, that's it for now. Be sure to catch the Dirt Sheet tomorrow. We got some great stuff to talk about tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, anyways, until then, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.